everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Moms Canva tutorial series, your go-to spot for creative skills, financial tools, and flexible work resources made just for you. I'm Prathima Prakash, and in this episode of our Canva tutorial series, we are diving into one of the most powerful, game-changing features inside Canva: images. Whether you want to design flyers, business cards, social media posts, resumes, or pitch decks, using the right images and editing them well can take your design from basic to brilliant. So let's get started. Let's begin with the basics: how to add images into your Canva design. First, open up any Canva design. I'll just start with a blank Instagram post for this example. On the left-hand menu bar, you'll see an option that says Photos if you scroll down. This is Canva's built-in photo library with millions of royalty-free images. If you're on a free account, many of them are still available, but if you have Canva Pro, you'll have access to even more. On the free account, if an image is Pro, you'll see a little yellow crown in the bottom right corner. Now let's just search up sunset as an example. You'll see several images that you can choose. For now, I'm just going to click, and it automatically appears in the center of my canvas. Super easy. If you want to use your own photo, just click on Uploads in the left menu and then click on the purple Upload Files button, select an image from your computer, and once it loads, just drag it onto the canvas or click it again for it to be in the center of the canvas. Now here's a tip. If you drag the image onto the background of the canvas until it snaps to the corners, Canva automatically sets it as the background, which is great for full width images. You can also drag an image into a frame. So if you go to the Elements tool and then you click on Frame, you can choose any frame of your choice, and then you can search for any photo. Now that we've added our image, let's talk about editing. Click on the image, and then a toolbar pops up at the top. So let's break down what you can do. First, we have Edit Image. Click this, and it's where Canva gets exciting. Once you click on Adjust, you'll see a sidebar with editing tools like brightness, contrast, and saturation, which are great for adjusting how vivid or soft your image looks, and also tint, which adds a colored overlay to change the mood, and blur, which is useful if you want to make the background less distracting. There's also an Auto Enhance button, so if you click it, Canva will adjust everything automatically for you to optimize visual appeal. So you can click it and see if you like the result, and if not, you can edit it automatically as well. One of my personal favorite things in Edit, if we click the back button here, is filters. So when I click See All, you will see filters like Retro, Cali, Summer, or Solar. Click one and then adjust the intensity with the slider. If you need to crop the photo, you can click the crop icon on the toolbar, drag the corners, or observe these ratios, and once you're done, you can just click Done. You can also flip an image horizontally or vertically using the flip button right in the toolbar. This is perfect if your layout needs the subject facing a different direction. Here's a power tip. Hold down the Shift key while resizing your image to keep the proportions perfect. Otherwise, things can look stretched. So now let's go deeper with Canva's more advanced editing tools. Firstly, you have the background remover, which is typically a pro feature. So you can click Edit Image and then choose Background Remover, and then Canva automatically removes the background in seconds, which is great for product images, profile pictures, or creating cut-out effects. There's also the duotone and color grading option. So you can go back to Edit and then scroll through the Effects tab, and you'll see something called duotone. And this lets you add artistic, brand-specific color overlays, which is super helpful for keeping your designs consistent across social media or branding. Another great feature that I really like is shadows and glow, which means you can add a drop shadow, glow, or even a page lift to your photo. So you can click on one and then adjust the settings like transparency, blur, angle, and color again. There's also a positioning tool, so you can click the position button at the top in the toolbar to align the image exactly to where you want. Center, top, middle, bottom, or to layer it forward or backward relative to other elements, which is great for when you're layering text or shapes on top of a photo. The transparency icon is one of my favorites. You can use the checkerboard icon to navigate this in the top right toolbar, and if your image is overpowering your text, you can lower the transparency slightly to soften it and make your text pop. This typically works under a black background so that the text, especially if it's white, has a lot more pop and appeal than if you can barely see it over a fully visible image along with text that needs to be understood. Now let's talk about styling. We can again try going back to the frames from the Elements tab or search for frames, and then just drag your image inside and it will snap perfectly while acknowledging all of the margins. You can also use grids from the Elements tab to create side-by-side image layouts, which is great for before and after shots or product comparisons. To add text on top of this image and emphasize the main message. And now we can readjust the transparency of this image as an example of what it could look like to make the text pop more clearly. So first, I'm going to make the background black. And now the image will just naturally fade into this darker background and make the text more visible. To add text on top of your image, typically I also just go to the text tab, add a heading, and drag it on top. And if it's hard to read, again, try adding a semi-transparent shape behind the text, using bolder fonts or drop shadows, and adjusting letter spacing for more breathing room. And finally, you can experiment with Canva's AI tools like Magic Edit to erase or replace parts of an image with a prompt. For now, we'll save that for a later tutorial. So that's a wrap on episode 6 of the Digital Moms Canva series. Today, you learned how to add your own images, use Canva's built-in photo library, and professionally edit your photos with filters, effects, and styling tools. Images are everything in digital design, and now you have the power to make it stand out. If this was helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What kind of design are you working on right now? And what do you want to learn next? Don't miss our next episode where we learn to apply this to real-life scenarios such as marketing flyers, resumes, and professional work. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.